Majo John Madden and La Calle Benito Juarez, the central road through Vega de Alator, little city in central Mexico along the Gulf Coast. I thought it was only down in El Diamante, the little pueblo of 400 people where I spent most of the last 3 months, that everybody knew I was the gringo. But this guy almost my age, I heard him over my left shoulder call out, "Oh, gringo!" Where was that? And I had it backwards. German Shepherd running behind the guy on the motor scooter. So I thought it was only there that everybody knew I was the resident gringo. But this guy just started rattling at me about being born in Ciudad de Mexico, where I'm going pretty soon. And amazingly, I understood 80% of what he was saying, making progress with my Spanish. I'm needing to move from this spot. See the two kids on the back of the scooter? I was going to tell a story about crossing into Mexico, but it's way too busy at this corner. When I was out here at 6 a.m. today, it was not, but now it is. So I'm going to move to a different spot and tell that story. But you are getting a little glimpse of Vega de Alator, which I am leaving tomorrow to go to Jalapa, up in the mountains, state capital of Veracruz state. And it's an emotional day for me because this town has been, I gotta go to the shady side. This town has been important to me for the last 3 months. El Diamante, see the mountains out there? El Diamante is such a tiny little pueblo that I kept coming by bus because my car was in repairs for 3 months down there. I kept coming here. And this town, I love this town. It's a little shabby, a little down on its luck, but it's got all the enchantment of Mexico for me. And it doesn't take much to get away from the busyness to a quiet neighborhood. And this is actually a spot where I parked one of the first nights that I parked my van up there, right under the shade of this tree. And can you see the way it drops off precipitously down into the green? Within 2 blocks there, you're in the country. Yeah, so this is a great little spot to sit here and tell my story. This story is in honor of my new friend Brenda, who works in Emilio Carranza, a little city near here that I'm going through this afternoon on my way to Lechuguivas Beach. Last stop along the ocean before I head inland for I don't know how long. So I told her that, she was telling me that if I go down by Emilio Carranza, that I should go to the some particular river that she said was really beautiful. And I told her that I love rivers. They have followed me my whole 3 years on the road. And I especially love that point where rivers dump into the sea, which would be possibly true of that river because it's right by the Gulf of Mexico. And jumping off from there, I said, actually, my first 2 crossings into Mexico were illegal by swimming across the Rio Grande River near Brownsville, Texas, and Matamoros, Mexico, from the Boca Chica beach outside of Brownsville, which is actually where Elon Musk has his SpaceX facility. So to get to Boca Chica beach, you've got to drive right by the rockets on their launching pads. And if you go down to Boca Chica beach, most people from Brownsville, and they call it their local beach because tourists don't go there. If you go to Boca Chica beach, most people go left where it's well traveled and it takes you up right down by the shipping channel into Brownsville, which is a huge and very bustling port. I think it's the most busy port for ship restoration in the U.S. So most people go that way. But I tend to go to the beaten path. So I made a right, and it's a much wilder beach down there. And I asked someone if I keep going that way, will I be able to get back okay? And she said, sure, but not at high tide. At high tide, you're stuck there. And that's what I did. I went way down to where, I guess it's 3 or 4 miles, where that beach ends at the Rio Grande River. And you can look across, it's about 10 yards, into Mexico at the Baghdad beach. Gorgeous beach. And so my first 2 crossings into Mexico were illegal. I swam across the Rio Grande River, which had kind of a strong current, but not so much you couldn't swim across. And actually walked up on the beach, and there were all kinds of families partying on that beach. Really a beautiful scene. Oh, I loved the sounds of those families. And I walked up to a bunch of guys talking and said, "Necesito un pasaporte?" Do I need a passport? And you know, that crazy gringo, but funny. Actually, there's no border crossing there. No checkpoints. As you drive back into Brownsville, they stop you and check your trunk if it looks like you might be harboring Latinos. Yeah, swam across twice. It because of the way the river cuts across the beach there, it's deep. You can dive in from the shore, and I did that a bunch of times. What a beautiful spot. What a beautiful spot, and it's a good memory. I met a guy named, what was this kid's name? I'm blocking on his name. Teenager who would row people across at that spot. Magical young kid who really took a shine to me. So, Brenda, you inspired me to tell that story. Thank you.